Are you addicted to sugar and you don't even know it? Do you crave sugar and sweets? Do you sneak or hide sugary foods? Do you feel anxious or uneasy about the thought of not even having them? Do you have feelings of guilt after consuming sweets? Do you treat yourself with a sweet treat as a reward or to feel better? Well, you are likely addicted to sugar. And yes, it is an addiction.
So is it wise to use healthier sugar substitutes to assist us?
Yes, and definitely there are some that are my favorites and some not so much. And we'll be talking about one of them, which is in this delicious low-carb cheesecake.
Do I get to eat this?
That is, yes.
Look
you have to
at
wait
this.
a few seconds, but yeah,
All right.
We're going to get to that in just a second. But one, I know you're ready.
Go ahead.
I can't wait because I know what it tastes like, so I can't wait to do it as well. But that recipe is coming up in just a second, so stay tuned for that. But one of my favorites as a healthy sugar substitute is, hey, I thought you were digging in already. No. One of the healthy sugar substitutes is monk fruit. So this was actually used by Buddhist monks in Asia, and this is something that, you know, in terms of the way that they processed it, was they would remove the seeds and crush the fruit, and which we can see here, and then also would dry it. So the form that we use today is the dried form of the monk fruit, and sometimes it's mixed in with other ingredients, but it is 200 times more sweet than sugar. But the beauty so you need a very small amount of monk fruit, but the beauty of this is that it doesn't spike our insulin. So we don't have that same glycemic spike that we do with sugar. So this is a great way now to substitute in baking, and that's where I love baking, and in some protein powders and things, they have the monk fruit, and they're hard to find, but we can help you with that. So check out the links below. But the monk fruit is a great way to sweeten with not having to have that insulin spike, and of course not having the carbohydrates. So that's the great thing about the monk fruit. So yes. So another one that you can use is stevia, and with stevia, I just want you to be careful if it's mixed in with other ingredients. So you want to look for maltodextrin and other ingredients that it's mixed in with. It should actually be just a pure stevia, and this is a great way to sweeten things as well because it comes from a plant. And I know stevia has a bad rap out there. I don't necessarily agree with it. If it's the pure stevia and it's not mixed with those other ingredients, then you're okay to use the stevia. I actually, grow it in the backyard.
Really?
And you can I've used the leaves of the stevia, just pluck them off, wash them, and put them into a smoothie, and it naturally helps to sweeten things up because I like things sweet.
What a great idea. We've got to get in your garden one day. That's what I want to see. I bet they want to see it too.
We will do that. Absolutely. And the sugar alcohols, now this is something that can be used sparingly as well, and sometimes the monk fruit that I use for baking is mixed with some of the sugar alcohols. One of the drawbacks of sugar alcohols, just as a warning though, is that it is fermented in the large intestine. So if you have too much of them, it can cause some gastric distress and frequent stools if you have too much. So you have to everybody's tolerance is different for the sugar alcohol, so you have to watch that a little bit.
I love how you describe things. It makes those uncomfortable moments sound not so bad, really kind of nice actually. I think we understand what you mean.
Yes, exactly. But the great thing about the sugar alcohols, again, is that they have a lower glycemic response. So it's not like sugar. So again, in moderation, I don't want you to overdo it on the sugar alcohols, but a little bit is okay. They can cause a little bit of water weight gain. So you're not, some people say, oh, I started switching off the sugar and went to the sugar alcohols, and I started, noticing that I'm gaining weight. That's water weight. And that's probably because of the fermentation process in the large intestine. So if you're sensitive, stay away from them, absolutely. But, if it's a way to transition off of some of the sugars and the sugary things, then that's something that you definitely can take a look at, which is great. So I promised that we would get to the cake, and this is one of my favorite recipes. I love cheesecake. Delicious, delicious.
Me too.
And this is one of the things. So certainly, guys don't understand this as much, but women, I'm talking to you, you know that if I say go cold turkey, no more sweets, no more sugar, no more treats, no more, as women, I have to say, we just have a very difficult time with that. And for whatever reason, historically, guys don't get it. And even in our office, today when we were discussing before the show, all the guys are like, We don't get that. Why? Why do you women need this? Like, if we said no more sweets ever, why? What's the problem? You guys just don't get it. That was our answer. You just don't get it. Women, you know what I'm talking about.
You said you just wouldn't understand. I'm like,
right.
Is that a medical opinion there?
It is. That's my medical opinion. And all the women can agree with me that, if you're a woman and you like your sweets, we shouldn't feel that we are deprived of anything in life, absolutely, but sugar, if you're addicted to it, is a problem. But there are alternatives. So as you're coming off of the sugar, yes, you'll find that you need less and less of the sugar as that treat or whatever it is, but you can use the alternatives, and that's why this is fantastic. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a chocolate cheesecake. I'll let you taste it. We're going to look at how we made it on this video right now, and then we'll come back in just a second to see how it tastes. Hi, I'm Dr. Janine, and today I am making a delicious low-carb, keto-friendly cheesecake that is chocolate flavored and it's no bake, so super easy. Just get all your ingredients together and we're gonna make the base first. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in my almond flour into my bowl with some cocoa powder, and I love organic cocoa powder, and some sugar-free sweeteners. So this is made with monk fruit. And mixing this up, and then adding my melted butter. Now this will go into the bottom of my springform pan. Now melting our chocolate in our double boiler. Once melted, set aside to cool slightly. Now for the cheesecake part, we are adding our cream cheese and some vanilla, some powdered low-carb sweetener, and now adding our chocolate protein powder. And now blending in our protein powder with our cheesecake mix. And now adding in my melted chocolate. I'm blending this all together. And now adding this to my base. And into the fridge to set. And now that it's all set out of the fridge, we can garnish with some fresh fruit and ready to enjoy.
Oh man, I cannot wait to try this.
Okay, dig in.
Right?
You've waited long enough. Enjoy. I've been waiting too, actually, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Can I really eat like normally?
All of it. You can eat all of it and not feel bad.
'Cause I feel guilty, pardon me while I'm eating here. If I order cheesecake at a restaurant, I think, okay, I'm going to pay for this for a while, but not with this one.
No. And that's the beauty of it. So
Wow.
yes, you can still have your cake and eat it too. Right? No pun intended. And you know what would go perfect with our cheesecake, which is low in sugar, because we've used our sugar substitute, is some tea. So I know you like tea.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
So what I made is some chai tea.
No.
And chai tea, so spices can also help you to get off of the sugar. So things like cinnamon, cardamom, which is in chai tea, vanilla bean, these are all spices that are naturally sweet a little bit on their own.
Oh.
So you can use less sugar. You know, if you're going cold turkey and off sugar, then you use these, but these are great ways to be able to sweeten. Licorice is another one, to sweeten, your dishes, or if you're gonna have a tea without needing the sugar, or not needing as much sugar if you're weaning off.
So now if you're watching and you still haven't liked, please do like the program, subscribe to the program, and click that bell so that you don't miss another episode of the Dr. Janine Show on Facebook and also on YouTube, where you can see all the previous episodes, see all the great recipes, which of course are online too, on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all the places you'll be able to find at Dr. Janine. You get all the recipes in this show. And like and subscribe, like we were saying, click the bell, share the video, and if you have any questions or comments about this show and future shows, which is coming up, we'll talk about, make sure you can also ask them in advance too.